So the government wants to tell women what to do with their bodies? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Conversation Logic Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So as we know, I always say that the left, they operate off of narratives and they spin narratives like there's no tomorrow. You know, like for instance, baby deletion is reproductive right, even though that has nothing to do with reproductive rights. A woman has every right to reproduce. There's nobody telling a woman that she cannot reproduce. Okay? And killing is not a right. So they're trying to combine, you know, that's like if someone says that drug dealing is my right? Anyway, you know, they tried to take January 6th and make January 6th make worse than it could possibly be. They keep associating the word insurrection and now coup with January 6th, even though it was nowhere near as worse than that. You know, an insurrection is not unarmed people taking selfies. And trust me, if it really truly was an insurrection, we would know it. They wouldn't have to lie if it was really an insurrection. But the fact that it wasn't, they have to lie to try to make it as bad as they can. Now, when the left protests, it's righteous protest. But when the right do it, is an insurrection, right? Or if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, you hate women. Even though it has nothing to do with people hating women, they just didn't like Kamala Harris because she was a horrible candidate and she was not qualified to be the president of the United States. I mean, that's not even remotely close to being true, you know, because there are plenty of women that conservatives would vote for, but not that woman, right? And then that Trump is Hitler now. They keep selling this nonsense that Trump is Hitler and he wants to be a dictator, all based off of the narrative of them trying to demonize nationalism because well, the Nazis were nationalists. They were nationalist socialists. Trump is a nationalist. He's a patriotic. So therefore, he's Hitler. Well, I guess, so in other words, if the Nazis or Hitler was associated or liked anything, then it's bad. So if Hitler liked ice cream, that means that if ice cream is bad and anybody who likes ice cream is Hitler. Or if Hitler likes sex, that means that anybody that likes sex, basically that likes sex is a Nazi and is Hitler because Hitler liked it. Again, that's the logic that they use. Now, the reason why they do this and they push these narratives is because the left are agenda driven. They're not driven by the objective truth. What's the truth here? They're driven by their agenda and they're going to push their agenda if they have to lie and spin narrative or craft narrative to make their agenda basically legitimate. They do this all the time. Again, now the government, as far as the government telling women what to do with their bodies, well, actually, I agree that the federal government has no right to tell a woman what to do. I agree with that 100%. It's your body, you're right. The problem is that we're not telling women what to do with their bodies. We're telling you what you can't do to a baby's body, because if it's your body, you're right. Then if that's child's body, it's child's right. Regardless if it's in the womb or not, it's still life. It's, you know, people say, well, it's just a clump of cells. Well, you know what? We all, as Ben Shapiro said, we're all a clump of cells. So you're a clump of cells when you're in the womb, and you're still a clump of cells when you're born. Okay? So, yes, the federal government has every right to tell you that you can't kill that baby. Now, the thing is that the federal government tells us what to do all the time. That's what's killing me about these leftists. You telling me that the government tells us to do everything else, but they can't tell you that you can't delete babies? You know, the government tells us that you can't rape females. If a man rapes a woman, that man should be charged, and that's a legal act. The government, that man can't say, well, it's my body, my right. Why? Because it's not you harming someone else's body. You know, the government says you can't commit murder. We have laws against murder, right? Government says you have to pay your taxes. Don't pay your taxes, and you can expect armed brutes to come after you. You can expect the insurrection on you. if you don't pay your taxes, right? Or you can't sell illegal drugs. Or the government tells you what's an illegal drug is, and so on and so forth. There's so many rules and regulations that we have to follow. Again, you want to operate a motor vehicle, you have to have a driver's license. So the government tells us what to do all the time. So, and again, that's just a tip of the iceberg of the things that the government tells us to do, the rules and regulations and things that we have to live with in society. So once again, a woman can do what she wants to do with her own body. However, once she's pregnant, she can't. Again, it's not about you. Once you are pregnant, it's no longer about you. It's about that child as well. And if you want it to be just about you, don't get pregnant. And it could be don't get pregnant and it'll be about you all you want. However, if you do, then the federal government has every right to tell you what you can do with your body and what you can't do with that child's body, essentially. Just like the federal government tells everybody else what they can't do with somebody else's body. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on this whole my body, my right is nonsense. And yes, the federal government has every right to tell you that you can't delete someone else's life. The government does it already. And anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.